First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. And the representative a while ago said that he was born in Center. I was also born in Center, but I'm gonna go a little further back. Do y'all remember Dr. Spencer? Well, that's how far I go back. But I just want to touch on some things. Whenever I took this office over, I know Carolyn Golden called me that morning and said, "You've got $22,000 in the bank." Well, I really didn't know what that represented or what that meant, but it didn't take me long to figure out that meant I was broke. But we had some forestry money come in, and that helped us out. We had one maintainer that was running, and we had an old 8-yard dump truck. And now we've got 4 good maintainers. We've got the 5th one is what I call an extra in case one breaks down. We've got 2 belly dumps, and we've got money in the bank. I'm not going to say a figure, but we're doing all right. We're right along there with the other commissioners. And I have thoroughly enjoyed serving with the people that we've got now. I can honestly say that I think everybody there has got the people of this county in mind to make it a better place for the people of Shelby County to live. And I love Shelby County. I'm going to be here, win, lose, or draw. But anyway, I want to thank you all for being here tonight and giving me a little chance to speak. And y'all vote.
Also seeking the office of County Commissioner Precinct 4 is Kevin Foster. Okay. Sammy Todd.
Gonna do it right here.
If you'll talk loud.
I will.
Okay.
I'm Sammy Todd, and everybody knows me as Bo. And I'm Timpson over there. And the only thing I'm after is these roads and a change. And that's it. That's about all I can tell you. Make sure y'all get out on the boat.
Thank you. The 4th candidate for Commissioner Precinct 4 is Tom Delmeyer.
Get my notes out, try to stay on cue. I want to thank the Shelby County Republican Party for having all of us here. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by how many people are here tonight on such a nasty night, so this lets me know that there is interest in what goes on in our county. A lot of people, I've heard it quite a bit, they said, "Well, we don't know you." And I said, well, just to give you a background on me and my family, we came here, bought our first piece of property in 1963. We started running cattle here in '63. My mother and dad retired about 8 years later and moved here permanently. I didn't graduate from school here. I graduated in Pasadena, Texas. That's where I went to school at. Of course, that was 1966. I sort of dated myself a little bit at that point. And at the height of the Vietnam War, I got drafted. I was one of those unique individuals that got drafted by the Marines. I didn't pass the physical. So, you know, it's kind of a two-edged sword, but I hadn't planned, I thought I was going to get drafted at that time the country was in, and I hadn't planned on going to school at that time, so I thought, well, I'll take a year off and get in construction work and save some money up and I'll go to school. Well, I got in construction work and never looked back, and worked a little bit all over the country, but I guess I'll get back to a little bit about Shelby County in the 1960s. It was kind of interesting, the road that we lived on. I lived on 4293 now. At that time, it was called Rural Route 1. And to give you an idea about what the area, and for some of you that are not quite as old as I am, there weren't any fences on the road at that time. It was all open range on our road. We had cattle guards on each end of our property. And the biggest complaint my dad ever had with the commissioner is that whenever they would come and do the road, they'd shove dirt into the cattle guard, and that was my job to clean the cattle guards out so that the cattle wouldn't end up down the road a little further. But it was kind of interesting. We were weekend farmers at that time until my parents retired. And to give you an idea, Highway 59 at that time out of Houston all the way was only 2 lanes. So it was typically about a 4.5 to 5 hour trip to get here from Houston to Center. But it was a lot of fun. Grew up, worked hard, but I was, to give you an idea, I was 45 years in construction work, and started out as a welder, and kind of went through a bit of a catastrophic accident in my career, and it was off work for about 1.5 years, so it really changed the direction I went. Got some education, got back into construction, but I got on the management side. Started running some inspection departments for different companies. Worked overseas. Was lucky enough to be in some unusual places. I lived in the People's Republic of China. Lived on the island of Borneo. Worked in Newfoundland. So there's been quite a diverse part to my career, and I guess that's what helps a lot, is that I've been through some unusual challenges in my construction career, and you learn a lot whenever you've been in some diverse locations like that. But the last 15 years of my career, I was in construction management, worked on the North Slope of Alaska for 23 years. Most of those times I was part of a larger construction management team. But you learn a lot from managers and from other people around you, exactly how to work within a group, within a team. And it is a whole lot like the commissioners and how the county runs its business, because it's a team effort. And we've been listening to different team members come up here tonight and talk about how they function in their job. And then with the judge and with the 4 commissioners, it just gave me a background on how we can function together. And I really, kind of look at the way that the county runs its business is exactly like a large construction management team. On a construction management team, you've got a construction manager. In this business, we've got a judge. Also, in a construction management team, you've got superintendents. Well, you've got 4 commissioners here that are those superintendents. Each of those superintendents has crews in their work, and each of the commissioners has crews. And then you sort of get down to the part, you've got engineering, you've got all of your process controls, you've got your schedulers, and it's all of the functions that happen within the county are just like on a large construction management team. And what you learn is that you do your part, you are a part of something that's bigger than you are as an individual, and you can work as a team and accomplish great things. I can see the very same thing within the county. There is a real future here, and part of that future is to make sound and smart decisions. Commissioners Court comes together a minimum of 2 times a month, and I think a lot of times with payroll, there's more times. But there are some hard, fast decisions that have to be made, and they have to work together as a group, and the 4 commissioners along with the judge are actually making decisions that impact us today and will impact the county in the future. And I think my background in working in multi-million-dollar construction management teams gives me an advantage on how to work within a team and make smart decisions for the future. One of the things I had a person ask me, said, "Why do you want to be a road commissioner?" I said, "I don't want to be a road commissioner. I want to be a county commissioner." Because there's more to being a county commissioner than running the 4 precincts of roads. And so it's kind of an interesting point that the person came to me and said about being a road commissioner. I said, that's just a part of it. That part is really, to me, is the simple part, because you have a precinct and you have established roads, you have a group of people, and you have an established budget. You work within that budget, you expend that budget, you work in the areas that need work, and you don't put so much effort into the areas that don't need work, but you have to identify those places. But anyway, I guess to kind of wrap it all up, I remember when Judge Tomlin was running for office, and one of the things that Judge Tomlin ran his, and I appreciate it, ran his campaign on and got, was he wanted all-weather roads in all seasons. And that is exactly what it'll take to get Shelby County to stay prosperous and keep our chicken industry, our timber industry, and our cattle industry, which is all of our rural industries that we have here in Shelby County. I guess I'd like to end with one last comment. I was actually talking earlier. I was lucky enough in 2014, I got assigned for a short time. I was actually in northern Iraq in Kurdistan. And one of the things that went on while I was in Kurdistan was the very first time that Kurds were allowed to vote. And that was quite an event to be around, because there was no such thing as early voting. There's no such thing as being able to vote away from home. You had to go home, had to go to your home village. So we shut our work down for 3 days so that the Kurds could go and they could be at home on election day and vote. But when they came back, the very first thing that every one of the Kurds I worked with wanted to show me was a green finger. They were so proud of the ability and the fact that they got to vote. So I guess for me, to each of you, and to encourage your friends and neighbors and family, start on the 20th, make it easy on Jennifer, get it over with, but go and vote. It's a privilege to vote. It's something that we take nearly casually, but it's important. It's how we make changes, and it's how that we can make Shelby County a better place. But I appreciate your time, and thanks for the moment.
The next race on the list is Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1, and we will begin with the incumbent, Melissa Crouch.
Well, I've sat here and listened to all these wonderful speeches till I forgot what I was going to say. And I didn't bring any notes. I am Melissa Crouch. I'm a candidate for Justice of the Peace here in Precinct 1. I was appointed by the Commissioner's Court in July 2017. The Honorable Maxie Eves retired, so I took his position. I am the daughter of the late Maurice and Melba Crouch. And I'm married to Roger Burton, and we have 3 daughters and 1 son, and 6 wonderful grandchildren. I have thought about what I was going to say, and I could go on and on all night. But I want you to know something about me as an individual and what I stand for. And first and foremost, I believe in God, and I feel very blessed for everything that He has provided for me. I believe in family. I have family values. I do believe in standing to the national anthem and also to the pledge of the United States flag. I'm proud to be an American. I am very nervous, as you can tell. My voice is beginning to quiver, but that's me generally. This is a office that is actually a 24/7 office. You can get called out in the middle of the night at any time And it makes for a long day if you're called out at 3 o'clock in the morning and have to be at work by 7 or 7:30. That's when I generally go to the sheriff's office to do arraignments. I am a hands-on judge. I want to know what's going on in the office. I feel like that it's very important to respect everybody, no matter who you are, with the most up respect that you can give them. And I would appreciate your vote. If you will vote for me, I will work hard to continue what I have been doing. Thank you.
Thank you. The next candidate for Justice Precinct 1 is Tommy Moody.
Good evening. My name is Tommy Moody. I'm a candidate for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1. I was born and raised here in Center. I've lived and worked here all my life. My wife Linda and I have been married 44 years. I have one son, Brad, his wife Kayla, and 3 grandchildren. My parents are Freddie Moody and the late Dan Moody of Center. After graduating high school in Center, I went to work in the building industry. And for the past 30 years, I've had a building and remodeling business. I became interested in this office several years ago. I researched it and learned all I could about the office and the duties of the JP. I realize this office is very important for the county in many ways. I also know that with this office comes a lot of responsibility. And I want the voters to know that I will be fully committed to accepting that responsibility if elected. In my business, I deal with the public on a daily basis, making decisions, working out problems, and solving issues that might arise with my customers. I feel this experience would be beneficial to me and one that I could carry over into this office in a positive way. I'm confident that I can be fair and honest and consider all sides of matters that might come before me as JP. I will be available to the public 24/7. I will work closely and professionally with the other justices of the county, as well as law enforcement and other county officials. I have no doubt that I can do this job and do it well. I will work hard for the citizens of Precinct 1 if elected. I will get all the necessary training prior to taking office, so I'll be ready to go to work. I sincerely ask for your consideration and vote for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1. Thank you.
Thank you. The next candidate for Justice of the Peace Precinct 1 is Randy Robertson.
I was up here 4 years ago, I wasn't a speaker then, I'm not a speaker now, so I've got to know what I want to say. Good evening, I'm Randy Roberts, and I'm a candidate for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1, Shelby County. If my name sounds familiar, it's probably because I filed and ran against Ms. Krause and Mr. East 4 years ago. Mr. East was the winner of that election. I filed again because I have a strong desire to have the position and work for the people of Precinct 1. I have been a resident of Shelby County for 45 years, moving here from Crockett when I was in 7th grade. I'm a 1977 graduate of Center High School. My wife and I currently reside in a Joyce community with our parents of 4 grown children and 10 beautiful grandchildren. I have been self-employed in the trucking business 40 years plus. I became Minister of Justice of the Peace job several years ago. I know the position comes with a lot of responsibility, and I'm ready for that responsibility. I will work with each law enforcement agency, game warden, constable, and the other justices of the peace in our county. I have run my own successful business for 40 years plus, and I now have the experience to run the office. I will attend all schools required as soon as possible after the election, and will stay up to date on all my continuing education hours. I will be available to offer assistance to each individual that comes to the Justice of Peace, whether it pertains to traffic citations, small claims, court, or performing a wedding ceremony. In closing, I would like to say I'm not a big speech giver, but if you should have any questions, please contact me. And I'd love to speak to you personally and try to answer any and all questions you may have. Thank you for your time this evening, and once again, I'll be asking you to please consider voting for me March 6, 2018. Number one on the ballot, number one for the job.
Thank you. The next office, we have one candidate here tonight, I believe, for Justice of the Peace Precinct 3 is Daryl Alford. I thought I saw you. Oh, that's right. Well, actually, we're going in ballot order. We're going in ballot order. And so you drew that spot, you gotta go for it. But chivalry isn't dead, that was very fun.
My name is Darrell Hopper. I went to school at Waukee, graduated in '71, joined the Marine Corps. I'm not much of a speaker, but I would like to help with a JP office. My wife and I are raising 2 granddaughters, and I want to stay home instead of traveling and working. I own my own business. I've been doing it for about 40 years. Contract welder in the oil field, all over the United States. And if you could see it, help me with get in, I'd appreciate it. But vote for whoever you feel will take care of the job. Thank you.
Miss Margie, I apologize, I got ahead of myself. I was really thinking we only have one candidate for precinct 4, so excuse me. Her Honor, Judge Margie Anderson is the incumbent.
I thank everyone that's here tonight, and I appreciate seeing so many people. I'm Margie Anderson, JP3. I am from Waukee, Texas. I have always lived there. I was born and raised there. I am seeking my 5th term as Justice of the Peace. I was appointed in September of 2004 when my husband, Billy Anderson, passed away as JP. He had been a JP for 18 years. So I think with all these years, I am qualified for this job. I have always been considerate of everybody that came to my office. Anything that come up, I was able to help. I think I am qualified for the job. I have always respected everyone, no matter who came to my office. And it's just an honor to have the job. I would appreciate everyone's vote. If I do get elected again, I will be courteous to everyone, as I always have been. I respect everyone that comes to my office. I have been to 80-hour school. I go every year to a 20-hour school. So out of all my years, I've had lots of schooling. So, and you learn something every year that you go. So if I'm elected, I'll be going again in April. And I would ask each one of you to, if you feel that I should have the job, to go and vote. More especially, go and vote for whoever you want to have the job. Thank you very much.
Republican running for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4. Is Jackie here this evening? There you are. Thank you. Jackie Kirkwood.
Good evening, and thank you for coming out in such bad weather. I thank the Republican Party for putting this together. Heard many of you say that I'm not a speaker. Well, I am. I speak at my church. I'm a Gideon speaker. I speak all the time. My life was a teacher, and tonight I am deathly afraid. I have sweated this for a week. I am not a politician. Since I put my name out there, I've had pictures that compared me to Eisenhower. Tonight I've been compared to a bald eagle. And I wished I was either one of those. One is deceased and wouldn't speak, and the eagle's flying above all of this. But I am Jackie Kirkwood. I am a candidate for Justice of the Peace in JP4, or 2 Justice of the Peace in Precinct 4. It takes me a while to explain that to folks, but I am a candidate for that office. I've been a citizen of Shelby County since 1991, and I proudly call Tenahall my home all of those years. For all of my adult life, I've been in public service. I retired with almost 40 years in public education, serving as a teacher and as a principal, where I had the privilege of working with parents and developing the lives of many, many young people. I served the last 12 or 13 years as a principal for the Discipline Alternative School for all the schools in Shelby County, including St. Augustine. They were in there as well. I also proudly served in the United States military, serving over 28 years, retiring from the United States Air Force, where I served as a security police. I had the blessing of serving the last 17 years, serving this great nation and serving my Lord and Savior as a chaplain's assistant, assisting the chaplain in delivering spiritual care to soldiers in a time of war. I also served almost 20 years as a police officer, as a reserve Texas police officer, 12 of those years as a deputy city marshal in the city of Tenahall, where I had the honor of protecting life and property for the citizens of Tenahall. Upon leaving all those 3 endeavors that God has allowed me to pursue, I felt the need to become involved in public service and get involved in my community once again. So after a few years of a lot of thought and prayer, I've decided to run for the office of Justice of the Peace. I feel this office is a very important part of our justice system. It's the people's court. I feel that the decisions that a Justice of the Peace makes affects the lives of people every day. And those decisions need to have a lot of thought, and those decisions need to be delivered with honesty, integrity, fairness, and compassion. I hope as a Justice of the Peace that I can educate the citizens of JP4 of the services that are available. Most people that you talk to say, I don't even know what a Justice of the Peace does. I've never needed a Justice of the Peace, so I want to educate them of the services, so should that need arise, that they will know where to come to. I also want to be readily available. I want to be a full-time judge. I want to give it, like it's already been said, it's a 24/7. My wife said don't use 24/7 because that means they call you. But I want to be available because I know what it takes. As a police officer for so many years, we work with many Justice of the Peace. And sometimes the duty is glorious and sometimes it's not. I've been on many accident scenes where the JP had to come and do an inquest and those kinds of things, and it's a very tough time, but I'm up for that. I feel like that my education, my training, my life experiences qualify me for that job. As Justice of the Peace, I want to support the law enforcement that puts their lives on the line each and every day. I also want to coordinate with the schools, because that's where my heart is also, with the juvenile issues, and any juvenile issues that the Justice of the Peace course can assist them. I want to be available for them. I have a servant's heart. As most of the candidates here, they want to serve. They want to provide a service to their community. And I've been in a servant leadership for all my adult life, and I want to return to that and give back to my community. I appreciate your support. I would appreciate the vote for Justice of the Peace for JP4. God bless you.
I apologize, I was remiss on JP3. There is a third candidate, Deborah Sharp. She works out of the county, but is there anyone, does she have a representative who might want to say anything? Okay, I didn't want to let that get by. The last batch is JP Precinct 5, first on